Hello, Leo. How's everybody doing today? I hope you're doing well. Welcome to your April forecast. A little bit of love and sunshine here from Apollo before we get started. I'd like to welcome all of the new faces and also all of the folks that have been with me for a long time. It's been nice catching up with you a little bit here in chat. For anybody that's brand new, let me just properly introduce myself. I'll give you a little information on what you can expect today. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh, and the first question that I always get about videos is, what is this for? Can I use it for my sun, my rising, and my moon? Absolutely, you can use it for all three. You can even use it for Venus if you know that, but I really design it for sun, rising, and moon. And you can also watch on behalf of someone in your life that you care about. And so now that you know that, by the way, if you don't know all of those parts of your chart, just stick with your birth sign and you'll have more than enough information with that. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about how things are structured here. I like to separate this into 4 different parts. We're going to be starting with the psychic or channeled information in just a moment. I always show up a couple hours early, meditate, and I get some images, sounds, and messages for you, and I'm going to share that. And then after that, I've selected a deck of cards here, and I will be laying out a full blueprint of what's coming through for the month ahead. That's going to be all the high points, all the challenges, and everything that you need to navigate between those 2 points. I also like to expand my forecast, looking at specific areas that I know everybody appreciates, including health, wealth, love, and destiny. And after I review all of this, then I will go into something special that I've been doing in 2020. This month, we'll be focusing on a little bit of soul work on how you can work through having like a breakthrough in the month of April. Basically focusing on renewal, new beginnings, anything where you want to kind of like shed your skin. If you think of a snake or something, they need to do that to grow. Or in your case, I actually saw like a hermit crab, and we'll talk about that in a moment. And what we'll do is then look at past, present, and future influences that could be holding back or helping that growth. And then we do a healing meditation that integrates not only that, but all of the messages that I received here. So this is pretty comprehensive. I don't think, this is kind of a unique experience here. Not a lot of readers do this, so hopefully you enjoy what we're going to experience today. I want to let you know that Super Chat is available here, but it is not used as many readers use it. There won't be any Q&A or pick a card. The way that I use Super Chat is just basically a way for you to say thank you and support the channel. If you don't know what that is, it's really only available during a live feed. You can click on this little $ symbol. From there, you can pick a sticker, like a unicorn or a rainbow or something like that, and just say thank you. You can also use it to amplify your text and say something nice. But again, I can't really address it while I'm doing the reading because I need to open up as a channel and share things with you. But it is a great way to buy cards like this. This is an out-of-print deck that I would only be able to get through the help of folks like you. So if you like what you see, feel free to donate. It really does help. If you want to do something that's free and also helpful, like and subscribe. And I'll go into some more ways that you can give back, including how to join me on Patreon or become a channel member at the end of the video. In the meantime, I'd like to just quickly thank my 2 moderators, Ryan and Maria. They help make everything nice and organized while I'm talking and allow me to just do my job. So be nice to them. And if you need some assistance, they're there for you, okay? With that being said, let's get into the information for April. And the reason I do these readings early is so that you can have a lot of time in advance to plan. And I really like how this has sort of changed even the way that I look at time this year, because it really does help you have that sense of empowerment. Now, when I closed my eyes and started to tune into the energy for your sign, there were 2 images that came through first. The first was, I just saw the shell, and then I saw the little hermit crab coming out of the shell. And because I read tarot, of course, the hermit has different symbology for me, but the hermit crab also carries its own sort of symbolism, which is, as I was saying, like with a snake, at certain points during its lifespan, it has to leave its shell and move to something else that will help allow it to grow, basically. So it gets a little upgrade each time it does that. And so many of you may be in a moment in your life right now where you're having to go inward. The Hermit card in tarot, of course, is an introspective card where you're learning about yourself. You're basically pausing for a moment and figuring out like what matters, and maybe even needing a little bit of a break from people in your life. So obviously, a lot of us now have no choice because we're working from home and things like that. But I also think that the overall energy for the beginning of April is still introspective. But then after that, the image that my guide showed me was a butterfly taking flight. So whatever the pause or whatever the sort of momentary inward work that you might be doing, I think that ultimately it's going to lead you to better understanding of who you are, a better ability to spread your wings and go in the direction that you want. So the two images that came to me were a hermit, then a butterfly, which are symbolizing moving from an introspective state to an extroverted state. And in doing so, also kind of receive a revelation about who you are, what you want to do, and where you want to go. So I think it's a really great combination. And we go into these moments sometimes of contraction and expansion. And it's been a while since I talked about this, but I know I talked in one of the signs about, there's different ways or different theories about how the universe was created. And I think most people agree at the very beginning there was this very compressed matter, and then it expanded. And how or why or how long it's going to expand, we'll leave the physicists to understand that. But there is another theory that we are constantly going between those two states, that instead of being spread apart, which is one thing that could happen to the universe, that it might eventually start to come back in on itself. So in the universe, even in spirituality, there are moments where you have to integrate and then you can get back out. And I remember a yoga teacher telling me once, a lot of times when you make a little bit of a gain or you go up frequency-wise and learn something, sometimes you come down half an octave and then you can go even higher. But that half an octave sometimes feels like you're going backwards, but you're not. It's just so that you can pause. So hermiting a little bit, going in your shell, but then coming out and being a completely different person. That's what I see coming through for many of you. The other thing, when I looked at the shell, it reminded me of like a snail. And it's like one step at a time or one little movement at a time. You still get where you want to be, but it may not be sort of in the cosmic timing that you want. This is a common thread that I've been seeing across many signs, coming through in different verbs or different types or different images. But basically, I think there's some cosmic timing at hand and you can't rush it. And I was saying in yesterday's reading, as we were looking at the Nine of Pentacles, that the little snail was missing. And I think maybe that's even why I wanted to bring it into today's reading, which is it doesn't matter how long it takes. It matters how great it is once you get there. And that's kind of what that little symbol is representing. So I got a lot of shell imagery for you, a lot of like going in and then revealing. But I feel like there's a really great next step for you. The butterfly is what is kind of the lasting image in my head, which is one of my favorite sort of symbols, because it's the ultimate kind of symbol of metamorphosis and shifting. So let's go ahead now and take a look at the cards. At this point, I like to remain quiet just so that I can see where the cards are. And also I receive some information as I'm doing that. But right afterwards, I'll pull the camera up and we'll go into great detail about everything that's coming through. Want to just say welcome again to all the different people from across the world. It's great to see you as well. I don't get a chance when I'm doing the reading, but know that I appreciate you and really love that you're showing up here working on yourself. It's interesting because one of the images that came to me also was a mountain, and we see the volcano here, so I'll talk about that in a moment too. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for being patient as I got everything laid out there. It's interesting because we definitely got a representation of the Hermit here. We'll talk about that in a moment. But let's start at the beginning here. It says, weird is the new cool, and I see someone actually picked up on that. It said, boldly express your uniqueness. If this is the Hermit, which is solitude and going inward, then this is totally the butterfly. The card was reversed, which is why the message on this is basically saying don't hold back. So if you think of really popular actors or models or politicians or whatever, they're usually not normal. They have something about them that kind of is trend setting, and trend setting means sometimes that you're way ahead of what is going on right now. If I think of like a musician that fits this mold, we'll go old school here. It would be like David Bowie, right? Because he basically reinvented himself with Ziggy Stardust and all of that. So before anybody knew what he was doing, he was like, yeah, this is cool. Prince had a similar vibe where he wasn't afraid to kind of do gender bending things and even look like when it was David Bowie, it was like an alien. But they were amazing artists and they had really great insights and things to share with the world. So yeah, weird is the new cool. What people think one day is odd, the next day they're going to be emulating, just like fashion. So really own your true colors, let them shine. And when we kind of take this down a step and bring it into something that we can all relate to, this is also about, for those of you that might be artistic or might have a really great idea, even in business, it's about not compromising that kernel of an idea that is kind of taking hold, because there's something good about it. An unconventional or a game-changing idea is necessary sometimes. So I think the important thing for you is to nurture it, give it time to grow. And if you can't find support where you're at, find someone or somewhere where you can be yourself. You could be the star, you can be the butterfly, you can be weird, and that's going to be great. Okay, so I really love this message. Weird is a weird word, but I think it's really saying be unique, be yourself, be authentic. I would probably have changed it a little bit, but this resonates with everyone. So whoever did it, I like that as well. All right, we have at the center here the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups, of course, can speak to your ability to connect with someone from the past, also to make a really deep soul connection with somebody new. And overall, it's about an energy of being able to really pull in positive relationships. With the Six of Cups, there's also an energy of returning to that sort of youthful vibe that we kind of lose as we get older, because usually you see children on that card. So to me, whether it's the Sun or the Six of Cups, I usually or even the Fool, those are the most playful cards in the deck because they remind us of the ability just to have sort of a freedom and not hold on to grudges and really be present and in the moment. So there may be someone in your life, it could just be a friend this month, that helps spark that kind of energy and that remembrance of who you were, that little girl, that little boy from the past. So do that. That's actually going to be really good. This is also perhaps the same person that lets you show your true colors. So if you can find that, you're really rich, and it's amazing that someone like that is in your life. Otherwise, seek it out, because I feel like you can find your tribe, and that's what this is saying here. We have the Ace of Pentacles right on top of that. So for some of you, if you're in an existing relationship, this means things could be going to a deeper level. Maybe there's a proposal, maybe there's an agreement to move in. If it's in business, this could mean that if you were a temporary worker, you're getting a contract to extend that or become permanent. And for the rest of you, if we're looking at Six of Cups crossed by this, it could also mean that there is an investment of time, energy, or money, and you might be looking at, am I stronger working with others or in a partnership? I basically see growth, expansion, and wealth with more people in your life or with the partnership. And that's why, as we were looking earlier and talking about the Hermit moving into the butterfly, it's necessary to kind of come out of the shell, because a lot can be done on your own, but I think at a certain point, you need someone there to help. For those of you that write like I do, this is when you have an editor take a look at it, so a second set of eyes can find where you need to put the comma, the semicolon, or whatever, and make it perfect. So there you go. Some partnering is going to be advantageous, and it could be across the board in love, in business, and just in friendships as well. But both cards are upright and positive, so nothing to worry about there. Looking into your deep past, we have the Strength card, and it's reversed. Unfortunately, we're not seeing Yeah, this is a different imagery on this one, actually. So I would say for this, when I'm looking at it, it's about grounding. And for you this month, since this is deep past and some of you are watching right now, what's going on in your life that makes you feel uncertain? I mean, there's a lot going on globally, of course, but I think this also has to do with things that could be tapping at your strength, at your stability. So if it's work and you're putting too much energy into it and it's just exhausting and you have nothing else to give to everyone else, you have to look at that and bring balance into it. There's a relationship and the partner is always kind of taking more than they give. Same thing there. Really focus on your body this month. Strength has been coming up a lot. And I think that it's important for you. We don't even see the person here. So this is a very unusual illustration. I would say, are you thinking enough about your well-being? Put it front and center, because as we look at, health issues that are going on around the world, you have to have a strong body and a strong mind. So rest, don't overdo it. Don't burn the candle at both ends. And don't be afraid to speak up for yourself, because with Six of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles in the center, this is showing me that you have support. And some of you might be trying to right a wrong, because when I look in the ego, we have the devil. And so if you're bringing illumination or bringing something like that to the light of day, it's okay to stand up for yourself, because that could have been tapping you out. This could also be a realization that some sort of cycle that you're in is no longer suiting you mentally or physically. So you're going to be able to get out of that. And part of that, though, includes kind of speaking up for yourself. We'll look at that more when I get to the Devil card. Six of Swords here. So it's interesting. Normally you would see someone on a boat getting away from something. This particular card is really focusing on the sort of air element of it, which is, what are you thinking? It could also be just simply separating your thoughts from somebody. It doesn't have to be a literal movement or travel. It could just be a decision in your mind that this is not worth my time. I'd actually like to sort of focus and put the energy in here, and I'm going to be able to reclaim power. It's interesting that, sometimes when people are complaining about someone having too much power in their life, they forget that power is partially given. Sometimes, yes, people have a lot of energy, a lot of charisma, but we can choose to yield the power to them, or we can speak up and push back. This person is deciding to push back a little bit, and it could simply be I'm not going to let you get into my head. And this is something that's really powerful if you're trying to get out of a bad work situation or a bad friendship or relationship. What I usually start to do is imagine almost like, if you've ever cleaned a chalkboard, you're going through there and you're just clearing out all of the sort of energy and all the memories. And I even stop thinking about the name or the face, just take a deep breath and I refocus. It's like kind of resetting a computer, and you start to boot in a new program code. And I think for many of you, this is a chance to download new thoughts, new energies. And when we do the meditation, I'll try to kind of help you do a mental reboot. Let me just write that down here so that I remember it, but I think that'd be nice. We'll reboot, or we'll sort of zero out the code a little bit to help you get into a higher resonance. All right, the crowning position is King of Pentacles in reverse. It's just saying to be conservative with how you spend time, energy, and money. For some of you, there's going to be more going out than coming in, or there could just be a lack of things coming in. This is also an introspective card, going back to the Hermit energy that we talked about earlier. And even that we see this here in your Destiny card, the Solitude. So some of you may be at a point where you're deciding, I want to learn more about myself or about this topic, or I want to take care of my physical health a little bit. So I'm going to spend less time with friends so that I can get healthier. So whatever it is, the investment on yourself in your person is going to be good, because we had an Ace of Pentacles at the center. So I would say this month, if there's something that you've been neglecting or have been putting off, maybe for the betterment of, if you're a parent, you just keep giving to your kids and you're giving to everyone else, this is a chance to say, it's all right, it's my turn. And I mentioned that because we have the Empress card here in reverse, which to me symbolizes parents, managers, patriarchs, matriarchs, anybody that is trying to take care of others. When the card is reversed, it's saying that you're spending a lot of that time and energy worrying about others, but maybe that should be put back into your life. And what you can do is you don't have to cut the cords with everyone. You could just allow them to approach you and express interest. This not only is going to help you conserve your strength and your energy, it's going to allow them to grow and become all that they are capable of being. Sometimes we cheat people of the opportunity to grow because we're afraid that they might fail. I know I've seen that in bosses and people in my family where it's just sort of like, are you sure you should do that? Are you going to be okay with that? And what these individuals don't realize is that when they say that, they plant a seed of doubt or shadow in your head and it grows. So today we're going to remove the seed of doubt as well. That's another thing that I'd like to take out of your energy so that I can really help you reset, because that's not necessarily your thought, but it takes hold. And we're going to upend it, take the roots out so that it can't be there anymore. All right. I actually love this devil card because it's showing that you don't have to stick with something where you kind of feel like you're just lost in the maze here. This is reminding you that there's always another way out, and that even if it feels good at the beginning, sometimes you get sort of stuck in a cycle. So break the cycle. And for you, I think the thing here is that this is really about someone else in your life. It's not so much about you. We're looking at this, and the devil here is more of an external source. So if there is an influence in your life where you feel like someone tries to convince you to be someone that you're not, tries to plant a seed of doubt in your mind, tries to kind of act like a frenemy, if we'll use that term, which is whenever something's starting to go well, they'll make you feel like you don't deserve it or something like that. This is a chance to step away from that. Now, of course, for those of you that might be kind of trying to overcome internal self-defeatist mechanisms, that could be addiction or self-doubt. Again, we can try to reprogram that. For me, I actually like that it's in the ego and it's not in the outcome. That means that you're aware of it. And as we look at the environment, I feel like you're going to be able to overcome it. This is a card of optimism, nine of cups here. The only thing that I would say with 9 of cups is there tends to be an energy of extremes with it. And one thing that you want to probably bring into the picture here is temperance, balance, being able to not go overboard. And so one of the areas where some of you might be experiencing like a devil moment would be if, say, most of the month is going well and you have one setback at work or in your health or something, and it just really throws you for a loop. Take a deep breath, meditate, and have a moment to kind of be grateful for the progress that's been made, the lesson that just was learned, and decide that tomorrow is going to be a better day. You're allowed to be upset. We're all allowed to kind of mourn, to kind of be a little bit angry or whatever. You have to experience what you're going through authentically. But then I want to help you reset. And that's really what, again, this month is about. So when we get into the meditation, I'll see if there's a way to work through some of those intense emotions. Here we have the Hermit. So the Hermit's reversed, which aligns to what I was saying. And this is in the possibility space, which means once you step out of the Hermit moment, then you're able to really own your power and start to go towards this beautiful horizon that we see here. And there's no easy or right way to do that. It's just putting one foot in front of the other. That's how you get out of the front door. And step by step, you're going to get where you need to be. So whether you're recovering from grief, or if you're going through a disappointment, or if you're excited and beginning something new, maybe starting a new phase in your life, all it starts with is that vision, that hope, and that first step. And then as you start to do it, look at how this magician, usually the magician is as above, so below, connected to the firmament and connected to the earth. This one is kind of out stretching its arms like a butterfly. And so there's a revelation kind of energy with this. We have Merlin sort of signified here. But what I would say for you is that when you truly own who you are, that's your magic. This magician doesn't have any of the elements in front of him. It's just about knowing that thoughts and belief and moving is the power. So actually, as I look, I can see the elements were hidden. There's just no table in front of them. But I would say for you, it's really more about you this month. You don't need the tools. You have the tools. You are the tool. Basically, your thoughts, your energy, your person, and your ability to get out there. So don't underestimate how important it is to just get started. And then remember, one step at a time. Okay, let's expand the forecast. We're going to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. We'll get additional details on how to kind of analyze what we've seen as we do that. Each of these is multi-part. So there's going to be like a myriad of pieces that go into it. For me, health is mind, body, and spirit. And one of the other elements that I saw when I was looking at this, I actually saw the little snail kind of going up what looked like a hill or a mountain. So we've got here a volcano, which is a very volatile mountain. And so to me, you combine this with the devil card, it's like a tower energy that needs to come through. So for some of you, you're going to notice that your health is in a place, either your health or your well-being, your mental well-being, could be in a place where there's a lot of shifts going on. It could be a positive shift. It could also be a setback. If you look at the second word here, it's volatility. So it's change. What you want to try to do is get ahead of the change or try to control the change a little bit. You don't want to let things get away from you. We don't have a tower here, but that energy leads into that. So if there's something, again, like maybe you have been working under deadline for work, or you're studying for exams, or, you're trying to support a lot of people in your family and you're just tired. You've got to take care of yourself, and you have to stop that, because that could lead to a kind of tower moment or something flaring up. So for those of you that might have chronic health issues, it could just be pain and, in your joints or in the muscles. You could also see a flare up of that. And if you've been recovering, like if you are sober and there was something that you overcame, there's a trigger this month. So you've got this way ahead of time. Most of you are watching this at least 15 days before the month. So you'll be able to react to it. You'll be able to anticipate it. You're going to be A-okay. So just focus on getting your body into a nice, strong, grounded position, to eat well, because for me, when I look at the King of Pentacles, it often indicates protein and a balance in the vegetables. Sometimes there's something that you're not kind of consuming from a mineral basis, so make sure you're getting like spinach and things like that. Talk to a nutritionist, talk to your doctor, obviously, but whatever's out of balance, get it in balance so that you don't experience this, okay? Remember, all volcanoes usually give you a warning sign before they erupt, so you'll have some sort of a warning sign. Don't dismiss it. Whatever that warning sign is, it's there for a reason, and you'll be able to, again, get rid of something major down the road if you listen to yourself. Looking at other elements of your mind, body, and spirit, just kind of before I move on to wealth, let's see. Again, physical strength, diet, very, very important. And when I look at the Magician, this has more to do with mental acuity and focusing. So for some of you, if you're feeling very distracted because of just stress or anxiety, or maybe there's something else going on and you just have committed yourself in too many directions to too many things. The Magician is only powerful when they focus. A lot of times a magician can try to do too many things at once, and that would be my warning there, is to not overcommit. And that's going to help with the stress and the overall mind and body health. All right, let's move along to wealth now. And we have, for many of you, it makes sense. We have home here. So some of you are working from home. Some of you are looking to find a place that sort of suits you better. Maybe where you've worked for a long time, it felt like it was a nice, welcoming environment, but you're looking for something new. So I think comfort is key with this. So if you are working from home and it's something that you're not used to, focus on finding, like one thing that I do, because I work from home, is I have different places that I do work. This particular setup here, it's always here, and I don't do anything but psychic work here. I have another desk and another computer set up for writing and for my other work. So I think compartmentalizing things is really important. So if you are working from home and you have children or there's other distractions, you could find a space where you can shut the door, and from certain hours, you're gonna have to have like office hours. You'll have to create a new schedule. For those of you that are working still in the office or have a non-traditional job, this is really talking about structure. So this is a chance for you to look at habits and are they working? Because the fact that I see the devil here means that for some of you, you've just got stuck in a rut. And that's what we're seeing here. And you also might be sort of mired down in details that don't pertain to you. The devil could be the sort of helicopter mom or manager syndrome that some of us can get, or we could be kind of hampered down by that energy as well. So get that monkey off your back if it exists. If you are that monkey, don't do that anymore. And instead focus on personal empowerment, organization, putting that energy into things that matter. Ultimately, not a bad card. With the fact that we have home there, though, it does mean that for some of you, you might find something you really like. a better place to work, something that feels comfortable for you. So it's still a good time for shifting and changing. All right. As we look now at love and relationships, again, this isn't just about falling in love. This is also about how you relate to others. Okay, this is an interesting image here. What I'm seeing here, if you look really, really closely, you'll see that there's actually like a hand coming out of this hand. Definitely a strong maternal energy with this. But what I'm seeing here is somebody that's looking for either is looking for a handout or is trying to somehow, like there could be a little bit of a power struggle there. I think this gets back to the Empress card that we saw here, because you can even see her focusing again with that hand. This one, same sort of illustration, just kind of different interpretations of the same thing. In this particular deck, it is a butterfly, it looks like. So that's what we were talking about earlier. I don't know why I didn't see that until I looked at the expanded forecast, but she has a butterfly. And what is an unconditional love but allowing people to come and go as they please? So if there is a relationship in your life and it's in conflict, someone has done something that they shouldn't have, something came to light that you wish you hadn't seen, there may be a point where separation is necessary, Six of Swords. And as a result, you're going to just see how it feels. If it's meant to resolve, it will. If it's meant to be released, then you'll be stronger for that. You can't control that person. All you can do is control the way you feel about the situation and what you need to do to heal yourself. One of the things that I think over the past several years that I've been reading, I hear this question a lot, and this is where I want people to pause, and the same thing came through yesterday. So I guess we have to kind of repeat and refocus the message. If someone in your life has done something and again, the relationship is kind of falling apart, I'll get a question where people say like, how can I get them back? My question would be, why would you want them back if they did that? Or why are you should really try to understand why that happened rather than immediately go to, I need them back, or why aren't they calling me, or why aren't they talking to me? Silence is a form of communication. So if someone has gone radio silent, that means that they need time, or they don't want to be in that energy. So what you could do is think, all right, I can invest in something where there's a much easier return on that. I don't want to be hitting a brick wall. So for some of you, it's to just really take in the symbols and the sort of energy around you and think to yourself, I'm worth a really great experience. Like self-worth is important. You have to love yourself. I love myself. I'm happy. I am worthy of someone who can see that value in me. And I think that's going to be key. The other thing that I kind of see here is a little bit of a dragon coming out too. So once you do this, you're going to have power. I love this deck because every time you look at it, it's different. So when I looked at the card from another angle, then I see you kind of getting your power back. Okay. So don't underestimate your own power, and don't accept someone in your life that makes you feel less than. Okay. Let's look now at your destiny card. It says, in silence, peace prevails. In silence, peace prevails. And I think that that is going into what we just talked about, particularly when we couple it with the Six of Swords here. So for some of you, the hermit phase that you're kind of going through or about to experience is so that you can get peace of mind, so that you can basically understand what happened, what is happening, and where you want to be headed. It's a planning phase. And for some reason, particularly in Western countries, we've gotten into a particular mindset that rest is not a good thing, that also talking is necessary all the time. There's a lot that can be learned by not talking. There's a lot that can be learned in solitude. And the interesting thing that happens when quiet exists, whether it's a conversation or you are left to your own sort of thoughts and devices for, a few hours, you really have to get comfortable with who you are, right? Because the TV's off, the radio's off, the telephone's off, no one's in the room. And suddenly you're sort of looking at your life and thinking, So that's what meditation is. I'm going to help you with a guided meditation today too. It doesn't have to always be sort of like going out and touching God. It can also just be about touching your soul and understanding who you are, which, by the way, actually is touching God, because we're all connected to the divine. But I'm going to encourage you to have a little bit more quiet time this month. And then once you've got that sense of, I know what I want, I know who I am, I'm ready to recognize my power, then you're going to be able to kind of find this inner dragon that we see here, instead of trying to work with the divine feminine. Again, I love this card. So I would say that's your challenge this month. When you stop putting the energy in others, then you have the energy to do what you want, but you might have to pull back a little bit and recharge. I think that's all the Hermit is for some of you. Let's review what we just talked about. And then I am going to get into the soul portion of this, SOUL, focusing on soul development. And we will go into renewal, reinvention, all of that stuff that we've been hinting at just before this. So I'm going to turn the camera down. I need a drink of water because I've done a lot of talking here. So let me drink, and then we'll do the review here. All right. So as I mentioned earlier, two images came to my mind, which was first a hermit crab. And basically, I remembered an old nature show that I'd watched where I saw how they have to basically search for a new shell. And it's important for them to move into that or they stunt their growth. We see, it's interesting, I just got an additional sort of message here. So we have home as work in the work area. For some of you, you might be too comfortable in what you've been doing for a living, for a job. And it's time to break out of that shell as well. So don't be afraid, you'll find something better. You'll be able to also grow into that new role. We've got the butterfly, you can extend your wings. It's going to be a nice period of expansion. And as I said here, introspection leads to revelation. And that was something I even saw when I looked at this card, which one way looks like a mother and the other way looks like a dragon. So very interesting imagery, very interesting message there. And then finally, just take it a step at a time. In my original vision before I got started, I saw a mountain. Here I see a volcano, and we'll talk about that again, which is basically just pay attention to the warning signs. I think of like Pompeii. They had warning signs before that a volcano erupted, even Mount St. Helens, but like sometimes people don't know what to do, and then it's just a rapid explosion. So pay attention to the warning signs this month. Weird is the new cool. It's like orange is the new black. Weird is the new cool. Boldly express your uniqueness. For this, I think it basically is what I was trying to indicate with the butterfly. The card was reversed, so it's basically a little bit more of integration to do, so don't be afraid to be yourself. We have some really nice cards in the center. 6 of Cups showing partnerships, love, relationships, and really any new sort of energy surrounding people in your life being quite positive. Despite whatever might be going on here, there's an ability to create something new in the wake of this. Remember, destruction allows creation. The Hawaiian Islands are an example of that. You know, it's just this big plume that keeps creating all these islands. And after the lava cools, there's this beautiful life that can form there. So in the destruction of something, whether it's losing a job, stepping away from a relationship, or leaving something that you like in your life, maybe even leaving an addiction, something better can come in. That's the Ace of Pentacles. And as I said this, I actually felt the pain in my stomach, which is where you would, this is where you hold your power center. This is also where you would give birth to a new idea. So know that it's okay to let go. I feel like some of you need to know that. So right around, this is the 3rd chakra, but it's right around the belly button. So as I was saying that, it felt like someone punched me in the gut. So don't be afraid to let go of it and reclaim your power. This month, more than any, but I would just say, you know, you've really got to take care of your personal strength, your body. So this is important for you to, like when it comes to your diet, when it comes to exercise and sleep, just have proper balance. 6 of Swords, don't be afraid to say no or to step away from something that's bad in your life or that doesn't suit you anymore. If there's a manager, a mother, or a friend that comes in and tries to take your energy, also okay to separate. Introspective and also personal work on yourself is where the energy should go this month. Put that, again, energy within. The fact that I'm feeling a lot of energy right around my stomach also tells me some of you might be trying to have a baby. One thing that I would say with this is timing is everything. Don't force that. When it's right, it'll happen, and just be open to cosmic timing and other options too. Maybe it's not just about traditional birth. You can look at other like adoption or surrogacy. But I'm getting pain here, which is saying don't force. The devil we talked about is a pattern in your life that you need to step away from. For many of you, this is a power struggle, and that's why I keep feeling it in my third chakra as I'm reading all of this. We definitely need to clear that because it's coming through loud and clear from my guides. So I think there's a power struggle, and you're going to be able to deal with it this month. Use your passion and your emotions in a positive way. Nine of Cups is overwhelmingly a positive card, but it is one of extremes. And one way that I think some of you could be overdoing it could be even in service or generosity. If you're giving too much and not receiving, then you might just be running yourself too ragged. So be careful there. We talked about the hermit phase being one where you're going to go in and out possibly a few times and then ultimately reveal yourself like a butterfly and then have the power of the magician here. Pay attention to warning signs in your life. That's really what this is saying. Get ahead of the volcano, get ahead of the tower. You're going to be okay if you do that. I already talked about some of the health issues, so I won't review all of those. One additional insight with home is that you might be too comfortable doing something. And at a certain point, we stop growing if we've done it too long. So you might want to change in your work, and that's okay. If you're working from home, you might need some structure, especially if you haven't done it before. When you stop putting energy into people or relationships or trying to struggle with relationships that are taking your power, then all of a sudden you discover you had that power all along and you can become the dragon, which is what we see here. Ultimately, the quiet time, the silence is going to give you the insight that you need. Meditation is more important now than ever, especially for those of you that might be taking some time off or be forced to sort of work from home or be more sort of introspective. Meditation is key. That's how I stay balanced and happy and sane. It just helps me clear it all out. We're going to do it in a second, so stick around. First things that I want to look at, though, are what you can do to maybe break through that shell that we were seeing. Come out of the shell, get a bigger shell, whatever, pick your analogy, but basically break a cycle. Let's see what might be holding you in place first. So I'm going to look at past influences, again, in the lens of renewal, reinvention, etc. So we have the Five of Pentacles, and in this particular deck, there's even a little caption that says endurance. You know, the fives in general, when we look at tarot, are cards of work, not always seeing progress. Five of Wands literally means working really hard. Five of Pentacles, not having enough for the work that you're putting in, sometimes just sliding by. Five of Cups, sometimes not feeling like you're satisfied with what's going on, trying to figure out if it's worth staying. And Five of Swords, trouble with communication, definitely. So fives are tricky. But with this one, what I see is that you're able to rekindle and create something new. Way back during, oh God, would this have been the 2009 sort of slowdown that we had, 2008, 2009? I remember, maybe it was actually even back in 2002. This was back when Steve Jobs was still alive. So one of the recessions. I remember him saying, we are going to innovate our way out of this. And I thought to myself, what an interesting concept, because then it was all news of like gloom and doom. And that company was still coming back because they almost went bankrupt. And he was like, yeah, we're just going to innovate. We'll create new products. And I think that was like their golden age, their zenith. That's when they came up with the iPhone, the iPad, all that stuff during like the darkest hours. So if you're feeling kind of like stuck and things aren't working out, start rekindling, innovate yourself out of this rut. That's what I see here, because you have the power. There's just someone in your life that made you think that you didn't have the power. And really all they were doing was siphoning your power. So get it back, become the dragon, come up with an idea, innovate, push through, and you're going to be okay. There's a lot of stars in the sky. I actually like that the pentacles are kind of symbolized as the stars. So you may only see the brightest ones, but look at all the other ones that are up there. All right. All right, we have the moon as a present influence that helps you either through or could hold you back from renewal or reinvention. So what I like about the moon in its positive aspect is it's one of our most primal instincts. It's intuition, but in an instinctual sort of way. Just internal knowing, that natural ability for the mind and body to help you do the right thing. Pay attention to that. It's going to help you avoid unnecessary challenges. It's divine feminine, which allows you to create as well. So if there's something new that you want to birth, when I was talking about the baby, it can also be symbolic. Like for me, I'll be releasing a book later this year. That's a baby that I've been carrying with me a long time and I'm ready to share. So something like that, a creative project or an idea or maybe you've been building a house and it's been delayed and you can't wait to get into that house because the home came through. Whatever it is, realize that you can actually birth that over the course of this year, and just hold that energy inside. Think, I'm going to create, I can create, I am creating that. Basically own your divine feminine energy around creation. The negative aspects or the critical aspects of the card, it's not really reversed, so it's not coming through too strongly for me, but it's just being afraid sometimes of trying something new or going into the unknown. Okay, we got 2, so I'm going to observe it. All right, as we look at your future state, we have 2 cards, both reversed, but I want to look at them upright. So we have the 4 of Cups, which is not a bad card. The 4 of Cups is sometimes a missed opportunity or hidden blessing. And then we have Judgment, which was reversed. And this one actually has Archangel Michael or Saint Michael here. But what I would say for you is to not second guess yourself, to also realize that sometimes when something comes your way, it's the right thing to do. Like, I feel like you might be letting go of something because you either feel like you're not ready, not deserving, or you didn't recognize the fact that this is a unique window of opportunity. Don't say no too quickly to something that could be an amazing growth experience just because it surprised you. So be open and take your time to make a decision, because Judgment reverse can be kind of closed-minded. And so I want you to give yourself time to think, then really be okay with that decision. Don't rush it. I think that's key. But what I do see for you with the 4 of Cups is a blessing. It just may not feel like one, and you may not be fully aware that it's there. So open your mind to abundance in all forms and allow for something new and unexpected to come into your life. All right, before we begin the meditation, I just want to remind you that if you haven't hit subscribe, please do that. It does let me know and YouTube know that this matters. And then I'm going to give you some more information afterwards on how you can connect with me. Please do stay if you can, because I'm going to be doing some sound therapy in addition to the meditation. If you have to leave early, you can always come back and watch this, but this is kind of like Shavasana or a healing. It really helps put together everything that we talked about. All right, I'm going to take another sip here, and then I'm going to help you with your meditation. Please get comfortably seated while we're doing this. When you're ready, I want you to close your eyes, please. Take a nice deep breath with me and sit up tall while you take the first breath. Imagine that there is this sort of beam of light that's coming through your spine and kind of stretching you in both directions, allowing you to fully be your normal height. A lot of times we compress ourselves to kind of hide who we are. In this moment, I want you to sit up tall and really kind of stand up like you are a divine being that you are, and just really feel that energy as you breathe in. Nice deep breath, inhale. On the exhale, relax your neck, your shoulders, your back. You can even give your shoulders a little bit of a self-massage there, getting out any of the knots that might be there, saying to yourself, I appreciate all of this strength and energy that I've been holding, but I don't need to do that anymore. I don't need to be Atlas. I don't have to hold up the weight of the world. And I love the image of the starry night here. I'm going to hold it up for a second for those of you that want to visualize it, and then you can close your eyes after you've seen it. So we're actually going to go into a 5 of Pentacles card, which I almost would never meditate with, but we're going to meditate with this one because we see someone creating a fire underneath this beautiful firmament, all these sparkling stars. So once you have that image in your mind, I want you to close your eyes and imagine that maybe that for a moment you could just lay out on a blanket and look up at the stars above you. And as you look at the stars above you, I want you to feel a sense of peace and calm and familiarity, because in this moment you remember, as we've done before in other meditations, that you are part of that cosmic family that you see up there. Everything on this planet, from the oceans to the ring on your finger to every element around you, basically is constituted from the remains of a star that went supernova. And that's the star that also gave birth to our sun. So we're part of that system, and we may not be shining like we did there, but you can shine in your energy right now. So close your eyes, and on this planet, underneath the stars, I want you to rekindle your fire, your flame, just like the fire next to you in that card. So maybe you even take a breath and imagine that one spark symbolically goes into your soul, and you see this gentle ember starting to grow. And I'm actually focusing on the heart space. So I see this beautiful golden light beginning there, working its way down into the stomach as well, because those are the two areas that I was feeling a little bit of a blockage. So you can pick one or both, or you can kind of see it kind of extending to the two. And I just want you to see this gentle glow coming from within. For those of you that were young enough to remember E.T., it's kind of like when his heart shined, and you could see that emanating from the inside out, this beautiful reddish orange glow. And then start to see that energy pushing out, pushing all the way up to the top of your head, all the way to the tips of your toes. And I just want you to feel that you are a beautiful, bright, resplendent star. And I see you with the color orange and red. So this is beautiful, strong energy, powerful energy, rooted in being safe and secure. So it might be like a red dwarf or something, but it's still a powerful energy. We're starting small at the beginning here anyway. So just feel like you're rekindling your flame and your fire, and you're remembering, I am that person. And whoever told me in the past that I couldn't be, I'm going to reboot my mental state now. Before you do that, go into your mind and think of something someone said this week, this year, when you were 5, I don't care when, something that got under your skin that you just felt like, ugh, why? Go into that space, take your newfound fire, because you are the dragon. We saw that image. And I want you to go through and imagine that that fire is going into that thought, that image, that space, and it's going to just burn it away. And we're going to take a deep breath, and whatever remains of that emotion, anger, resentment, fatigue, you're going to breathe it out like a dragon, and you're just going to push that flame out into eternity, push that energy away from you, and feel your power. And maybe in this moment, you can imagine that you're no longer human. You've actually become this resplendent phoenix or dragon that's capable of harnessing its own power, its own flame, its eternal flame. Nice deep breath. Inhale, get rid of that energy. Take a really deep breath this time. And on the exhale, breath of fire, push it out. Repeat if you need to. Another deep breath, reclaiming your power from the past, from the present, from the future. All that you can be, all that you want, bring it back into your body. Say, that was mine. I'm ready now to reclaim it, to be a powerful, resplendent person or dragon. Inhale. Good. And I want you now to think, no longer can someone or something get into my body, into my mind, into my thoughts. This is a divine space, and I hold dominion over it. Feel now a strength and energy as we go into the sound therapy portion of the meditation. Allow this newfound power to resonate and see that beautiful energy, really of the third chakra. Beautiful. You can kind of mix the lower chakras. So again, I'm getting a mix of red and orange and yellow. See these beautiful energies coming around your body, reminding you, I am powerful, I am creative, and I am safe. I'm safe to do whatever I need to do, and I'm ready to do what I need to do. If you're on headphones, turn the volume down. Otherwise, just enjoy this. Take another deep breath. I'm going to continue it. Gently allow your energy to come back into your body. See your heart this time open wide, beautiful, bright energy coming through it. And I'd like you to enter through your third eye. See there being a beautiful, sort of brilliant, fiery energy, just like that energy that we created elsewhere. Come back into your body through the third eye. Re-emerge into your physical self, but still keep that phoenix, that dragon, that elemental energy that we pulled from the past that you've always had that you might have forgotten. See yourself as divine, as bright, as strong, as capable of handling anything that comes your way. Take a deep breath and allow for your physical self and your this new sort of cosmic self to lock into place. And look forward to tomorrow, whatever it may bring. You are the magician now. Okay. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the meditation today. And I'll be doing some more of these in the future. I'm going to hopefully do morning ritual, evening ritual, and a way to connect to guides. I'll figure out how I'm going to launch those, but more to come in the coming weeks here. If for any of you that enjoyed what you saw today, before we wrap up, just a couple of notes. First of all, you can still do a super chat while I'm talking right now if you want to. Again, all of that goes into buying supplies like this. This was a out of print deck, like I said. If you want to join me on social media, I'd love for you to do that. My Facebook username or account is the same as YouTube, so it's Nicholas Ashbaugh. While you're at it, you can also join me on Patreon. Patreon is an easy way to kind of like set and forget a sort of monthly contribution. And you can do as little as $1 on Patreon, and that goes a big way, or goes a long way, I should say, in helping me out here. The other thing that you can do is join, become a channel member here, and that also makes a big impact. If you haven't joined me on Twitter, please do. I'm at @Ashbaugh, and basically what I try to do every day that I'm live, I will tweet out a reminder, and I usually do it a couple days before. And I use both Instagram and Facebook stories as well. My Instagram username is slightly different. It's Nicholas_Ashbaugh. I'm very close to having enough folks following me there to put links in. So if a few more follow me, I'll be able to put links in the story. So I think I have to get to 10,000 for that. Everything that you really need to do to follow me or to connect with me can be found on my website, including booking an appointment or becoming a patron. So feel free to go to nicholasashbaugh.com. And finally, for those of you that are, again, is on my website. And I know that both Ryan and Maria have been great about putting the links out there. So thank you, everybody. I also appreciate all of you that have become members there. I see a couple chatting right now, Sarah and Kim. I appreciate you. And for those of you that are also on Patreon, I recognize you as well. So thank you. Next month is a good month for you. I want to just basically remind you that the importance is on introspection, finding that power, kindling that flame as we saw that, and really then emerging with this sense that I know who I am, I know what I want to do, and I'm not afraid to allow that to show and share that with the world. Okay, so be your best selves. Thank you so much. And again, welcome everybody that was able to show up today. It really means a lot that you were able to take part in this meditation. And again, thanks to Ryan and Maria for holding a nice safe space for me today as well. All right, be well, everyone. I'll see you soon. And I will be live again on Sunday. And you can check my website for the schedule. And I know that Ryan has also placed the links here too. All right, in the meantime, be well, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.